Tokyo Ghoul episode 4 came out quite a while ago, but I'm just not reviewing it because I just now watched it. In episode 4, we're introduced to this disturbingly gay character named Shuu, and this character is like, no offense to anyone out there who's homosexual, but this guy is disturbingly gay. Like, I'm talking about like of the Hannibal Lecter variety. Like, his disturbingness to me is of the Hannibal Lecter variety or whatever, and it's just creepy, man. Like, he is a creepy, disturbing character, you know what I mean? Like, when I watched this episode, I just got finished watching it. When I watched that episode, I was just like, I was in such shock that a character had been conceived of this particular nature, because I've never seen a character that was that fucking creepy. Like, the first thing that kind of came to mind a little bit was that one character, I forgot which one he was, in the Band of Seven in Inuyasha. The one guy who was kind of masking a female's appearance or whatever. He was kind of obsessed with Inuyasha or whatever, but he was gay, but he wasn't like disturbingly gay. He was like comical in a way. He was kind of comical. So I'm just kind of like, okay, he's kind of funny. But this guy, I was like, nah. Like, when he was sniffing that handkerchief, and the way they choose to animate his eyes, he's just like, I was like, whoa, that's fucking disgusting, man, and disturbing. Like, if that's how we as men look to women when we trying to like lust after them, then I apologize for if I've ever looked like that to you. I apologize, because that shit was creepy and disturbing. But this episode was cool as shit though, man. Like, it was a lot better than episode 3. You know what I'm saying? This episode right here was cool as shit, man. We also get introduced to another character named Itori, and she runs a bar. I think it's in the same district that what's the guy named Ute, the guy who makes the masks. It's in the same district that he's in, which is the 4th district, I think. And we get introduced to that character, and she's kind of a outlandish personality. You know what I mean? She's kind of bubbly to me in a way. She's kind of out there, so it was cool to get, introduced to these new characters, man. But the main plot line of this episode was that the guy who we get introduced to, the guy Shuu, he develops this obsession with Kaneki due to the scent that Kaneki has. Like, that's another thing, he sniffs him constantly. So he develops this obsession with Kaneki, and he constantly invites him to all these places. And Kaneki, on some, what's funny though, like on some traditional, like, naive protagonist type of shit, he just keeps going along with whatever this guy's saying. He's like, well, he doesn't seem that bad of a guy to me. It's like, man, the people who are currently watching you and taking care of you and training you right now, I don't think they would ever lead you down the wrong path. So it's pretty safe to assume that if they say you should stay away from this guy, you probably should. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the one thing that he was told by Toka or whatever. She was just like, hey, just stay away from this guy. Like, he isn't, he's a creepy, weird sort of guy, man. He's troublesome. He's known as like a gourmet eater. He's a pestilence in this district, man. So just stay away from him. And Kaneki still goes along with him. So if Kaneki had been killed or severely injured, he can only blame himself for being stupid in this episode, honestly, though, man. I don't know why he gives a fuck about Rise. He seems to honestly wants to know about her. I'm like, dude, she was about to murder you. I wouldn't give a fuck about her backstory, to be honest with you. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck. He is constantly trying to figure out stuff about her. I'm like, why do you give a damn? I would not give a fuck about Rise. I would not care what she did in her past. I would not care how she was murdered, or if she was murdered, or if it was an accident. I wouldn't give a fuck. As long as she's not here and I'm alive, that's all I would have cared about. But we get a little insight as to how Rize's death was not an accident for the most part. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't an accident. We already sort of knew that, but we get confirmation somewhere in this episode that it could have possibly been someone who arranged for this to happen. So you know, I want to see where that goes. You know what I'm saying? At least in the near future, just to see what happened there. Like, who was the one standing there who made this happen? You know, was it this Shuu guy who did it? I don't know, but you know, we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying, in the near future, man. And yeah, man, everything that happened with Kaneki was just kind of his fault, man. Like, I knew something was gonna happen though, because when that guy, what's the guy's name? The big guy. What's his name? His name is Renji Yomo. When that guy was like, "Come with me, we're going to train or some shit," and I was just kind of like, "Okay, what's the training shit about?" And then he was like, "Because these guys, the doves, are in the district, you're gonna have to like defend yourself or whatever." And then he was like, "You can dodge, but other than that, you can't really do shit. So come here after work and I'm gonna train you." And I was just like, okay. As soon as he said that shit, I know something's gonna happen to this fool in this episode now. He's gonna be attacked by someone some type of way. Like, I knew that much, you know. And everyone has this fascination with the one-eyed ghoul, because the whole half human, half ghoul thing. It was said in this episode that most of the time when a human and a ghoul fall in love and try to have a child, the child dies. You know, so having a half human, half ghoul is extremely rare. And everyone's riding Kaneki's dick because he is technically half ghoul and half human, because he has the one eye, and everyone's just like, "Oh shit, a one-eyed ghoul." They're just kind of loving that shit, you know. And yeah, man, like, I'm really just shocked about Shu's character. Like, I'm really, like, this show is really pushing some boundaries, man, and his character is one of them. Like, but I'm loving it though. Like, I thought Zakayo no Terror is pushing a lot of boundaries, because it's making you think of the morality aspect of what you assume is terrorism and what's right and what's wrong on a morality level. But this shit is pushing boundaries on the level of, like, it's disturbing, man. I'm telling you, it's just disturbing. Like, that character for me was just really, really disturbing. Like, he was too weird to have been put on TV. I was just like, whoa, like, this guy's like a Hannibal Lecter rapist. Like, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, that shit was crazy. And the episode ends with Shuu killing the butcher sort of guy, the big, tall butcher dude. He kills him, and all the people who are part of this group, they are going to eat the big guy. Oh, excuse me. And Shuu was just like, "Hey, Kaneki, this was a joke, man. This was just a joke, man. Can we move past this?" But then in his own head, he's just like, "I don't want anyone else to have the pleasure of eating you other than me." So there's that. So we're gonna, you know, have this development with this character being totally obsessed with the main character, and he's probably going to try to kill him to eat him on a daily basis because of his human side. And probably Kaneki is going to get his power boost or whatever. He's going to maintain some slight control over his power, hopefully, in the near future. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode that came out about a week ago. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the series, oh man. Let me know if you are enjoying the series. Bash Stampede, gone.